pleasure to be here. I'm not sure where to start. First, to thank you. You invite me once, it's a mistake. You know, we all have bad dates. But to do it, you invite me a second time. Now we're kind of going steady here, so I'm really appreciative. There are a lot of familiar faces in the audience, and that's really nice. It's like coming home. It's really fun. I've been in this room before, but you know, it's just nice, warm feeling. So thank you. Now I also owe you an apology. You may not know this, but the housing market and the economy fell off a cliff like 6 years ago. Maybe it's news, I don't know. But as an economist, I feel bad that I kind of didn't catch it, if you will. I'm not sure I should have, almost no one did, but I feel bad nonetheless. So you get an apology, I'm sorry. You know, you can sue a doctor, you can sue a lawyer, you can't sue an economist, that's why I'm an economist. Okay. But more seriously, why did we screw up? But there are a couple of reasons we screwed up. We screwed up, one, because younger economists think they're smarter than older economists. That's one. Second reason we screwed up is because we believed our own econometric models too much. We invest in them psychologically, we think they're really good, and they're not so good. It's just the way it is. The future is never like the past. It's never so simple. And the third reason, I think the most fundamental, most important reason, we blew it on housing finance. We didn't pay any attention to how you got your house. It didn't seem to matter to economists, but it matters a lot. Let's take two people. We'll take, well, you won too much already. You won too much. Let's take Yvonne, right? Yvonne's a straight shooter. She buys a house. It costs an expensive house. Let's say it costs $400,000. But you put $100,000 down because you're serious about it. And then there's some buffoon like Roy. I know, yeah, right, exactly. And he plays fast and loose with the rules. Remember, this is back in 2005 when your dog could get a mortgage. So he got not only 100, he got 110% mortgage. That way he could get 40,000 extra. You put 100,000 in, he takes 40 out. He gets some coke, you know, get a hair transplant, and then takes his girlfriend to Tahiti for a couple of days of drunken stupor and meth or something, right? Okay. Now, there's quite a difference here. You're a serious person, you put the money down, you sunk a lot of money, you have skin in the game. You, by contrast, have my skin in the game, right? You have two options on the house, a call option and a put option. Every day when you exercise the call option, that means you pay the mortgage. You say, I want to keep the house and keep it out of the hands of somebody else. But you also have a put option on that house, which you can exercise once. One day you can wake up and say, you know what? This house isn't for me. I'm going to exercise my put option, which means defaulting on the mortgage, not paying it, and giving the house back to whoever it was who owns it. We don't even know who it is, but that's these two options on that $400,000 house are worth a lot of money. We should have charged you $30,000 or $40,000 for these options instead of giving you $30,000 or $40,000. And when you screw up prices that badly, you end up with a really crappy outcome. Now, an economist always are sensitive to prices, and getting prices wrong leads to a really bad outcome. We got prices. It's like walking into a Ferrari dealership and saying, where's the Ferrari cost? They say $400,000. And I said, but in your case, it's special. We'll give it to you for free. We'll pay you $100,000 to take the Ferrari. Well, of course, the Ferrari dealership sells lots of Ferraris, but they're getting the prices wrong and they're not making any money. It's causing a lot of trouble. So this is my way of saying, I realize I screwed up. I'm really sorry. I'm going to be more vigilant in the future, but we'll screw up for different reasons next time. So have no fear. We won't get it right. But I want to talk about two things. We're going to talk about the economy and how it's doing next. But first I want to talk about the economic impact of home building, continuing the analysis that they did in St. Louis, which is a really good introduction. The results here are very, very similar. Housing is exceptionally beneficial, housing more than pays its way, housing is a profit center, and we should do more of it, all else equal. So here we go. There are three phases to think about housing. If someone asks, what does housing bring to a community? It brings three benefits. A construction phase benefit. I'm not sure this is working. No, it is working. It's so right. Okay. A construction phase benefit, a ripple phase, and an occupancy phase. The construction phase lasts 8 or 9 months. The home is built, it's finished. The ripple phase lasts equally long because every 2 weeks the workers who get paid here spend their money here. They finish after 8 or 9 months and it's done. Then comes the occupancy phase. Here a household moves into the house and contributes to the community like everybody else. They buy things, they get, maybe they get a big gauge on their ear. That's what I want to get. My daughter pushes me, get a gauge, Papa, get a gauge. cage. It's a big, hole in your ear. It's not cool for me, but people want to get that. I want to get pectoral implants, so I can look like I'm a tough stud, without really doing the work. But that's what happens here. So here, the builders hire people and buy stuff. Here, the people who they hire spend their money, and then it's finished after 8 or 9 months, and then people move into the house. And they contribute forever and ever and ever. To give you some perspective on this, think of the construction phase as being this much economic stimulus in the community, 6 feet. Think of the ripple phase as roughly being half as big, 3 feet, roughly. And the occupancy phase is roughly half as big again, 1.5 feet. But it goes on forever because the house is occupied, essentially, into perpetuity until it hits the wrecking ball 30, 40, 50 years. Construction, ripple, occupancy. So 8 or 9 months, 8 or 9 months, 20, 30, or 40 years. That's the sum of the benefits of home construction to a community. Now, this model is not saying, the home builder model is not saying, look, just build houses and your economy will be great. They tried that experiment in Phoenix. They just built homes for nobody. It didn't work, but they were so excited about that experiment, they did it in Miami, and they did it in Tucson, and they did it in Las Vegas, and they did it in Reno, and they did it in San Bernardino, and they did it in Riverside. All these places thought, if we just build houses, it will be fabulous. Okay, they were idiots. You can't just build houses. You have to have income and jobs for people. The question that we asked in this analysis, or that's generally asked when city council decides whether to build zone some area or annex some land, as the case may be. People already have jobs. You're creating jobs in the community. The question is, do we want those people who have these jobs to also work here, or would we prefer to have them live in some godforsaken place like Omaha? It's that simple. People can live here, they can live there, they live somewhere, they live somewhere, they have a job. The job is here. Will they live here, or will they just work here and live there? And the assumption is it's better to have them work there, live there. We want the job. Job's good. But the home, one thing is bad. Schools, police, fire, it's a big drain on the economy. It's not a win. But it's not true. And we'll show you why here. This really is important. This is the way the construction phase is. Builder goes to, developer or builder, think of them as one person, goes to a bank, they borrow money, the money runs through the economy, the builder spends the money in the economy, it leads to a house, and along the way it leads to income for local residents and taxes and fees for government. Now we know what the government does with money. They throw it down the drain on stupid things, obviously. I mean, that's just what government does. And what do people do with their money? What do you do with your money? You spend more than you earn, right? Because you're American. And that's what you're supposed to do. You say, let's charge the economy, let's go, go, go. So you earn X, you spend extra a little bit more just for good luck. Like you're coming in president, right? So yeah, you spend extra. Whatever the budget for baseball is, let's spend more. Right, because we're American. We borrow from the Chinese, they do our savings. We outsource savings to foreigners, right? This process occurs every 2 weeks. Think of it as a draw on the bank, goes to the economy, leads to construction activity. In 9 months, the house is built and we're done. Then we get the ripple phase, because at the end of this phase, every 2 weeks, people have money, governments have money, and they spend it. So now we have people with the money and the governments with the money. They buy stuff. The people who they buy stuff from have money. It goes through the local economy, and it happens every 2 weeks again. But there are multipliers in here. Let me give you an example of what a multiplier is. So, I'm a builder. It's been tough business last couple of years. Things haven't been doing so well. So I see a psychiatrist. Thinking you're a psychiatrist. You're an empathetic kind of person. So you diagnose me, but you're lazy. And she over-medicates me because she's afraid I might do something dangerous to myself or others. And so I'm like plastered on the floor, sleeping and drooling all over myself. But anyways, so I'm earning some money as a builder, but not much because I'm over-medicated now. You feel guilty. And you're feeling guilty, so you go see your psychologist. Right? Got it? He's your psychologist, okay? Doc, you got that, right, Jim? Now, because he's so busy because there are so many crooked psychiatrists like you seeing him to get out a solution, essentially. He in turn comes to see you, Julie, and you work out like you're a masseuse, and you work out all the stresses and strains. She's working so hard, she's never home, and you're unhappy, miserable, complaining, so she buys you a day of paintball, and you can go shoot out all your hostility and frustration. That's the ripple phase. So the dollar that people earn in the first phase, that I earned from selling my house to some unsuspecting guy like Dan, now, I get the money, and I see you. Some of the money I pay you, you pay him. Some that I pay you, that you pay him, he pays her. Some that I pay you, that you pay him, that you pay her, she pays him. Or him, actually. And that's the multiplier. So some of the money travels 4, 5, 6 times, but each time it gets smaller. Not all the money I spend goes to you, not all the money that I pay you goes to him. Because sometimes people save money. I know it's very American, but we do it. That reduces the multiplier a little bit. And sometimes we buy things like, I love that lime-colored shirt you're wearing, too. It's really cool. I bet you, did you buy it here in town? Maybe. No, even worse. Not only does it come from out of like China or Malaysia, right, you bum, but you didn't even buy it in town so like a salesman didn't get commission and a profit to a store owner. But you don't care. I'm not bitter. It's okay. Who cares? Trash your community. So what? That's the reason why the multiplier, the ripple effect, shrinks at each phase. And sometimes we go out of town. Like you go on vacation. I know you couldn't imagine going on vacation here in January when the weather's gorgeous and the cry of California or Florida, the allure, the siren call is powerful. But if you do that, you're taking your money out of town too. So for all these reasons, the multiplier effect, the psychiatrist to the psychologist to the masseuse to the paintball factory, is half as big as the construction phase. Half as big. It's big. Half as big. You don't see it. It's half as big. And then it ends after 8 or 9 months, all done. Then we get to the occupancy phase. And it looks the same as the ripple phase, doesn't it? There's no real difference. Here, a new household moves in. Every 2 weeks they get paid. They buy stuff. It runs through the economy. It leads to income and taxes to restaurateurs and operators of a football game makes some money. That a hairdresser makes some money. And a shoe shine place and a haberdasher. And then every 2 weeks it happens again. So you get paid every 2 weeks. And embedded in that are the multipliers. We just talked about the multipliers. They happen here as well. And this effect is roughly this big, right? Construction, short-term 8 or 9 months, ripple 8 or 9 months, occupancy phase into infinity. Infinity and beyond, right? Isn't that some toy? Some toy. Toy 1, toy 2, one of those. Infinity and beyond. So this is infinity and beyond. You put it together, that's the construction and ripple and occupancy phase. You look at it over 5 years, or 10 years, or 20 years, that's the sum of the benefits of home construction over that period of time. So if somebody asks you, what are the benefits of construction? Construction, ripple, occupancy. Those are the benefits. Now,